Welcome to this deep dive, into the power of stories and storytelling in the Sandman.
Ooh.
We're gonna kind of uncover how stories, shape our lives and everything, as revealed through Neil Gaiman's work.
Yeah.
It's pretty incredible stuff.
Absolutely.
Have you ever felt like stories are more than just entertainment?
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they really kind of define who we are and maybe even reshape reality itself.
That's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think we're gonna find out.
We'll see. I think things are going to get really interesting.
What fascinates me about the Sandman is that it doesn't just tell stories.
Right.
It actually dissects them.
Yeah.
It reveals how these stories become like threads we weave into our identities.
Yeah.
It shows how they influence the choices we make.
Right.
And how they actually hold a power that can ripple through reality.
It's true.
It's powerful stuff.
Okay, so let's unpack that.
Okay.
Let's start with stories as identity and legacy.
Right.
We all have a story, right?
Absolutely.
But the Sandman takes this idea to a whole new level.
Oh, yeah.
For example, there's Hobgadling,
Oh, yeah, Hobgadling.
who chooses immortality
Right.
and meets with Dream, also known as Morpheus, once a century.
Every 100 years.
It's like he gets to rewrite his life story every 100 years.
It's not just rewriting, though.
Okay.
It's about how each era kind of shapes Hobgadling's story.
Right.
Like, his choices reflect the anxieties and the opportunities of each period he lives through.
Oh, that's interesting.
It makes you think, right?
Yeah.
What parts of your own story are shaped by the time you live in?
That's a really good question. It's
Yeah.
like our stories are constantly being written and rewritten by the world around us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And speaking of rewriting stories, The Sandman also explores this whole idea of legacy.
Okay.
How the stories that we tell and the stories told about us
Right.
carry on long after we're gone.
Yeah.
Look at Calliope and Orpheus,
Oh, yeah.
figures pulled straight from Greek mythology. I mean, their stories are woven into history.
So it's like our stories become part of a much larger narrative,
Exactly.
a collective human story.
Precisely.
Wow.
And that collective story
Yeah.
keeps evolving and expanding.
So we've established that stories are deeply connected to who we are,
Absolutely.
but the Sandman doesn't stop there.
No.
It suggests that stories can actually transform the world around us.
Yeah,
Almost like magic.
it's pretty amazing.
Right.
One striking example is Rose Walker,
Oh, okay.
the Dream's Vortex.
What?
She's this young woman whose very existence could unravel reality
Really?
because of the power of her unconscious storytelling.
Wow.
She's literally a walking nexus of dreams,
What?
a point where the barriers between the dreaming and the waking world
Right.
become dangerously thin.
Hold on. So just by dreaming, she could change the world?
It's an extreme example,
Okay.
but it highlights how even small, seemingly insignificant narratives can have this ripple effect.
Oh.
What we tell ourselves can have unforeseen consequences.
So, like, are you saying that our dreams and, like, the stories we create in our minds have that much potential?
I think it's something to really think about.
What kind of world are we shaping?
Yeah, what kind of world are we shaping?
Mhm.
It's a question worth considering.
It is?
And it leads us to our next point.
Okay.
We've seen how stories are powerful,
Yeah.
shaping identity,
Right.
transforming reality.
Yeah.
But the Sandman doesn't shy away from the darker side of storytelling either.
It doesn't.
Like with any powerful tool,
Right.
it can be misused.
Oh, absolutely. And the series tackles this head on.
Oh, it does.
The Calliope storyline is a chilling example.
Oh, yeah.
You familiar with that?
For those unfamiliar,
Yeah.
Calliope is a muse
Right.
from Greek mythology
Right.
who gets captured
Oh, gosh.
and forced to generate ideas for a writer.
Yeah. That's brutal.
It's disturbing.
It's a brutal look at how storytelling can be exploited.
Oh, yeah.
And it raises a lot of questions about the ethics of creation.
For sure.
Where's the line between inspiration and exploitation?
The Sandman makes you face those uncomfortable questions.
It does.
It's not just a fantastical escape.
Right.
It's a reflection of our world
Right.
and the choices we make as creators and consumers of stories.
And then you have the Corinthian,
Oh, yes.
who really embodies that dark potential.
Absolutely.
He's a nightmare created by dream,
Right.
a physical manifestation of our darkest fears and desires.
Absolutely. He represents how stories can be twisted into weapons.
Wow.
Manipulating and harming instead of inspiring.
His existence is such a stark contrast to characters like Hobgadling,
Yeah.
who embodies the potential for stories to connect us.
Absolutely, across time and experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the Sandman is saying that the same raw material can
Ah.
be used to build or to destroy.
It's true.
We have a choice in how we wield the power of stories.
Such a powerful idea.
It is.
And that choice has profound implications.
Yeah.
Not just for individuals,
Right.
but for the world as a whole.
Which leads us to another fascinating concept the Sandman explores. The idea that stories are eternal.
Eternal, timeless.
It's like they exist beyond time and space.
They do.
Think about Shakespeare's role in this series.
Shakespeare.
He's not just a historical figure.
No.
He's an active participant in the dreaming,
Right.
commissioned by Morpheus to craft plays that will resonate throughout history.
Wild, right.
Wait, Shakespeare is literally hanging out with the Lord of Dreams.
Yes.
Getting inspiration from the dreaming itself.
Yeah. And by placing Shakespeare in this context,
Okay.
the Sandman highlights how stories transcend their creators.
Right.
They become part of a collective consciousness,
Yeah.
shaping how we think and feel, even centuries later.
This makes me think about all those stories that have stuck with me for years.
Oh, yeah.
What makes them so timeless?
It's a great question.
What allows them to resonate with people across generations?
It's worth pondering.
It is, and it ties into the concept of stories as a reflection of humanity.
That's right.
They're not just about escaping reality.
Right.
They're about understanding it,
Understanding it.
exploring our deepest desires,
Yes.
fears, and hopes.
Absolutely.
So, in a way, stories are like a mirror reflecting back who we are,
Exactly.
both individually and as a society.
Precisely.
And The Sandman provides a perfect example of this
Okay.
in the World's End arc.
Oh, yeah. World's End.
Oh, that one was amazing.
It was so good.
Remind me about that one again.
You have this diverse group of characters
Okay.
who find themselves stranded at this mysterious inn
Okay.
at the edge of reality.
Oh, wow.
And they start sharing their stories.
Right.
And it becomes this incredible tapestry of human experience,
Oh.
showcasing all these different perspectives and emotions.
It's like they're all connected through the power of storytelling,
They are.
even though their lives and experiences are so different.
Exactly. The Sandman reminds us that no matter who we are or where we come from,
Yeah.
we're all connected through this shared human experience.
Yeah.
And stories are a powerful way to explore and understand that connection.
This has been incredible so far.
Really.
But I'm really interested to dive into the idea of responsibility when it
Okay.
comes to storytelling.
Okay.
You know, the Sandman doesn't just explore the beauty and wonder of stories.
Right.
It also reminds us of the heavy responsibility that comes with wielding such a powerful tool.
For sure.
Yeah, it's like we're all holding these incredibly powerful tools, you know,
Right.
but we don't always know how to use them responsibly.
That's a great point. The Sandman really emphasizes the responsibility
Right.
that comes with creating and sharing stories.
Right.
And you see this responsibility most clearly
Yeah.
with Morpheus
Right.
himself.
Yeah. Right. As the Lord of Dreams.
That's the Lord of Dreams. He's constantly making choices
Right.
about which dreams to grant.
Right. Which nightmares to contain.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
he understands the impact these choices have.
Wow.
Both on individuals and the world.
It's almost like he's curating the human experience,
He is.
deciding which stories get told and how they shape reality.
Yeah, and you see how that burden weighs heavily on him
Yep.
throughout the series.
Yeah.
But it's not just Morpheus who
Yeah.
grapples with this responsibility.
Right.
We see it with Shakespeare, too.
Shakespeare.
Yeah, Shakespeare.
Okay.
Who recognizes the power his plays have
Right.
to inspire, to challenge,
Right.
and even potentially to harm.
So it's not just about the act of creating a story.
No.
It's about understanding the potential consequences,
Absolutely.
positive and negative.
Yeah.
Shakespeare, through his interactions with the dreaming,
Yeah.
is forced to confront that reality.
He has to face it. Yeah. And it raises an important question for all of us.
Yeah.
What does it mean to be a responsible storyteller?
Right.
In a world where narratives have such a profound impact, especially in this age of instant communication and
Right.
widespread information sharing,
It's everywhere.
it's like we're all storytellers in our own way.
We are.
The things we said, the
Yeah.
images we share,
Yeah.
the ideas we spread, it all contributes to this bigger narrative of our world.
Absolutely. The Sandman challenges us to think critically
Yeah.
about the stories we're telling and the impact they're having.
Right.
It's a call to be mindful, to be ethical,
Right.
and to use our storytelling powers for good.
It seems like it's not just about the stories themselves, but the intention behind them, the message we're trying to convey,
Yeah.
and the impact we hope to make.
Powerful insight.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing the weight
Right. Yeah.
that our words and our narratives carry.
Yeah.
As we kind of wrap up our deep dive into the power of stories and storytelling in the Sandman,
Yeah.
I keep coming back to this idea.
Okay.
The Sandman doesn't just tell us about the power of stories.
Yeah.
It shows us.
Yeah.
You know? It immerses us in this world where narratives are as real
Right.
and tangible as anything else.
It's true.
And it forces us to consider our own relationship with storytelling.
Yeah.
It makes us ask ourselves,
Okay.
how are we shaping the world with our stories?
Right.
Are we using this incredible power responsibly?
It's like a wake-up call.
It is.
Reminding us that stories aren't just entertainment. They're woven into the fabric of who we are,
Right.
how we understand the world, and
Yeah.
how we shape the future.
That's a great way to put it.
I feel like we've only just scratched the surface of, like, what the Sandman has to offer.
It's true. We've explored how stories shape identity and how they can literally reshape reality,
Right.
and even how they can be used for both good and evil.
Right. We've also touched on the eternal nature of stories, their ability to transcend time,
Yeah.
connect us across generations.
That's pretty amazing.
And perhaps most importantly, we've grappled with the idea that with the power of storytelling comes immense responsibility.
It's a heavy burden.
It is the Sandman really drives home the idea that we're all storytellers,
Right.
shaping the world around us
Yeah.
with the narratives we choose to share.
Powerful idea. It's a message that really resonates, especially in today's world.
Absolutely.
The Sandman is a masterclass in storytelling.
Yeah.
It weaves together myth, fantasy, and human drama
Right.
to explore the profound ways stories impact our lives.
It's not just a comic book series.
It's not.
It's an invitation to think differently about the power of narratives.
I like that.
So if you're looking for an escape, the Sandman definitely offers that.
Oh, yeah.
But it also offers so much more.
It does.
It's an exploration of what it means to be human.
Yeah.
How we make sense of the world, the enduring power of stories to shape our individual and collective realities.
Our realities, exactly. Stories are more than just entertainment. They're a fundamental part of who we are.
Yeah.
It's how we connect with each other, how we understand the world,
Yeah.
and ultimately how we shape the future.
So to anyone listening who hasn't experienced the Sandman yet,
Yeah.
I highly recommend diving in.
You should.
You might just discover a whole new way of looking at the world
Yeah.
and the stories that we tell.
And for those who are already familiar with the series,
Yeah.
I really encourage you to revisit it with fresh eyes.
Yeah.
There's always something new to uncover,
Right.
like a hidden layer of meaning waiting to be discovered.
Yeah. It's a story that stays with you long after you finish reading it.
It does.
It makes you think about your own life,
Yeah.
your own stories,
Uh-huh.
the impact you want to have on the world.
Until next time,
Yeah.
keep dreaming,
Yeah.
keep creating,
Right.
and keep telling your stories.
Absolutely.
The world needs to hear them.
And never underestimate the power of your own story to make a